Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is David, coming at you from my home. Sundays for family, Sundays for community. And so on this Sunday and Sundays moving forward, I'm doing a stream like this for chill, talk some crypto, give you my thoughts on the markets, kind of recap what happened last week, looking forward to this upcoming week, making sure we're all kind of on the same page, right? We're all moving in unison, right? And so, or at least you get to hear my thoughts on what's happening. And so with that being said, I need one favor from you guys. I need you guys to be active. Ask questions, talk, whatever we need to do to get this conversation going. Think of this like a town hall. And so that's my goal. I want to connect with you guys. I want to answer your questions, whether it's crypto related, macro related, personal related, anything related. Feel free to throw it in the chat, man. And I just have a few things that I wanted to cover. One, covering the FOMC, what we think there. Also, this another big short positioned open on Hyperliquid. This video clip that Kevin O'Leary and Lara Trump were talking about Bitcoin. There's a lot of uproar there. People saying this is the worst advice ever. So I think this is a good, chat. Instead of chatting it up with Rob and getting his thoughts, I want to get your guys' thoughts. And then we'll talk a little bit about this, kind of interesting as well. And then we'll just take a brief look at the markets. And again, something more chill. And speaking of that, look, you know what? Let's answer the call here. What's up, man? Okay. I'm literally live right now. Okay. Bye. Well, there's Rob spending all my money again. All right, just gonna give some what's up to some people. What's up, Mario? Brokioshi, Ding Dong Daddy. Wassam Hussein. Haven't seen you here, Wassam. Welcome. FOMO Sapien. Semenomo. Rusty Bot. Ashad. Is there going to be a rally for May? I don't know. That's the honest answer is I don't know. But, people always say, sell in May and walk away, right? So let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Let's go to data, Bitcoin returns, and let's go look month by month. And in the month of May, the average return is around 8%. So not the worst, not the best, middle of the road. You see last May in 2024, we had a 7% drawdown. 2022, 37% drawdown. 2018, 15% drawdown. So as far as the sell in May and go away, I don't know because, I've said this multiple times. This cycle feels like it's 7 months ahead of where the other cycles have been. And, obviously looking at the halving when we had our all-time high in relation to the actual halving. So for me, this cycle really is different. Now, as far as what is the same from the cycle, you look at money flow. Bitcoin's dominance starts to go up. And then once Bitcoin dominance starts to fall, then that really signals an alt season. And we can take a peek here at Bitcoin dominance and where it currently is. It's up. It's at 61.87%. That's on the daily. That's on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. So we've seen a pretty decent spike in Bitcoin dominance. Now this trend line here is sitting right around 61.78 cents. We briefly broke above it, and that's kind of where we're trading now. And so historically, let me remove this indicator. Historically, for BTC, we take a look. This was 2020. In December, when Bitcoin started rallying, it got all the way up to 73.68%. Then it fell off a cliff at the height of the altcoin rally or the altcoin markets. Bitcoin's dominance dropped to under 40%. And so it's been like that for multiple cycles. And going back to the cycle of 2017, Bitcoin's dominance got to 95%. And then towards the tail end of 17 into 18, that is where we saw altcoins rally. And guess what? Bitcoin's dominance fell to 36.5%. So that is a trend. I think that trend is going to continue. But this long and then we can, here, let's just go back to 2021 again, okay? This long grind up for BTC, this was August of 2020. We had that massive spill off in, you know what? Let's actually throw on a Bitcoin price chart here as well. So Bitcoin's price started to rally and around, it bottomed out. It truly bottomed out in December of 18. Well, no, that's never mind. February of 20, we saw Bitcoin's price get down to around $5,400. And then we started rallying, right? Bitcoin's dominance started to fall, but it never had this massive just up and to the right only rally. This rally really lasted. This was from the September of 2020 to essentially its peak in dominance, January 2021. Only rallied 28% over a course of what is that, 5 months, 4 months? And you see what Bitcoin's dominance has done. It's just been grinding up and to the right, higher highs, higher lows. So that's also something that we haven't really seen before. And so just some things to keep in mind. There's definitely, there's irregularities in every cycle. And so this cycle, it seems to me that the dominance irregularities, we should be at a lower dominance level for BTC, given all still room to rally that they need. But as far as sell in May and go away, I don't know. I just don't know. I wouldn't sell in May and go away, especially after we just had a crappy February, and it looks like we're heading for a crappy March as well. And so it's just, that's just my thoughts on it. Is anyone else using Robin, as Robin would say, the ghetto Telegram apps? How can we sell if we're down so far? Yeah, that's the other thing. What are you selling? What's your thoughts on HBAR and XLM and your price predictions? Blazing Nip. Interesting. What are my thoughts on HBAR and XLM? Okay, so HBAR, I think RWAs, once those kick off, I think HBAR is going to be front and center. Obviously, they do more than just RWAs. But I love that team. I love what HBAR is doing. And their connection with large Web 2 and institutions is something you can't really look past. And so that alone gives it a value, right? And I don't know what that nominal value is. Is it 100 billion in market cap? Is it 300 billion in market cap? But they got some of the biggest names in their governing council that are directly tied to the project, that are directly tied to its future, to its, have access to its resources. And Manson Lehman, they're two great guys. We've had Mance on the show a few times. Dr. Lehman, we haven't had him on yet. Would love to bring him on the show, but super, super big on HBAR. And then for XLM feels like it kind of lives in the shadows of XRP. But both, the world of payments is so massive. I don't think it's going to be just one network. I don't think it's just going to be XRPL. I don't think it's just going to be Stellar. I don't think it's just going to be Solana or Ethereum. I think it's going to be a multitude of things, multiple blockchains, layer 1s, layer 2s, maybe some bridges. I don't know, but there's room for multiple remittance projects to really succeed. And I love XLM. And when you talk about RWA, it constantly ranks in the top 5 for RWA. And that's something no one really talks about. And rightfully so. People talk about the payment side of it, but RWA side of it as well is going to be pretty big. And then the XLM chart, I know we talked about it on the trading show pretty much all week, or at least the latter half of the week. But I still think this chart is going to explode. And, yesterday I was up here and I was debating on the show. I was like, I really want to just enter the long now. I have a limit order set at 25.88 cents, which looks like it might have gotten filled. I'll have to check on that. And I was like, you know what? It might just break out from here. And, 3 years ago, I would have just said, screw it, cancel the limit order. I'm just going to go market order, and we'd be in the red right now. And so this kind of just goes to show when you have a plan, if you remain patient, that plan usually will work its way the way you thought it was if you put enough time and research and thought into it. And so, you know what, actually, let me see if that limit order got filled. I'm curious. Maybe you guys are curious too. Sign out there. Let's go here. And it's going to ask me to... By the way, are any of you guys using Buy DeFi? I'm curious. What are your thoughts on it? These guys are awesome, man. We're doing another $300 giveaway tomorrow for the winner of this past week in ROI trading. So if you're not part of the trading competition, I recommend you do so. It doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is just trade. All you got to do is just trade. And so highly recommend you do so. If for some reason you're like, I'm not feel comfortable with Buy DeFi, which I don't know why you would feel that way. We do have a Mexi and a hot coin in there as well. It looks like the order did not fill. 25.88. Where did this thing get to? It was on the 1 minute. Let's go to the 1 hour. Oh, that's Bitcoin. Let's look at XLM on Buy DeFi. Yeah, it looks like on Buy DeFi got down to 26. So almost. And let's take a look here. Yeah, we didn't quite get there. Now this is sourced from Binance, so obviously the numbers aren't going to be exact to where Buy DeFi pulls their pricing from, or from their market makers. And so I don't know. I still think we're going to hit this. We expect some of this volatility, well, not really volatility, but you take a look at the rest of the markets. The biggest losers so far, Sonic is down 10%, Pepe down 10%, Casp had a nice rally, that's down 8.5%, Hyperliquid down 8%. So a lot of like 7 to 10%, nothing huge, like a 30%, 40%, at least in the top 100. And then the top gainers on the 24-hour, Binary X, no idea what the hell that is, Mantle, L2 on ETH, and then you got Exchange Token, Mantra, and then DPIN, Kava. Not familiar with Kava, but Helium's a DPIN play. So not as much volatility as I expected. Now, obviously, we still have some time to go before this candle closes. About 3 hours left for this daily candle. And so we'll see what the rest of the market brings. But tomorrow it'll be interesting. This is going to be a big week. You know, this post here from Kook Capital, in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of selling ahead of the FOMC Wednesday. Fed will pivot and save us eventually, but they won't do it this week. Get ready for a long summer. Curious, what are you guys' thoughts on what do you think the Fed's going to do on Wednesday? The prediction market, CME believes 99% that we're going to remain at the current levels. And then Kalshi, which is the kind of like a poly market, they're at 99% also. And so hard to think that the prediction markets and the CME is wrong. So I'm not going to go against that and say we're going to get a rate cut. But I think the most important thing is going to be the FOMC minutes, which is going to come out around 2 to 3 weeks after the meeting on Wednesday. But also the big one is going to be the initial statement release. What was changed? What was struck out? What was added? What was the wording like? And that is what people are going to use to try to front run the next Fed narrative, whether it's rate cuts, whether it's QE, whether it's, I mean, you name it. And so that's what we're going to see. So tomorrow, it'll be interesting to see how the market opens. But I'm curious, what are you guys' thoughts? When do you think we're going to get a Fed pivot? I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts. I think a Fed pivot's going to come sometime in the summer. There's not enough broken. Things are leading that way. You have unemployment rate is up. Jobs report came in lower than they expected. Inflation is down to under 3%. If you look at something like Trueflation, it is down well under 2%. And then we went over the whole thing, the credit crunch, the global uncertainty. And so I think all that's playing into the hand of the Fed, giving them an opportunity to cut interest rates, which would signal to the markets, easy money mode is back. Let's put some positions in risk markets. Crypto Princess. What's up, Crypto Princess? Rob and I actually were on our show. We did a little, I don't know if it was an AMA. It was more like a kind of a spotlight interview. It was pretty good. You guys should go watch it. Her channel, Crypto Princess on YouTube. So big shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Carnivore Zealot with a $2 super chat said, are you still a believer in Caspa? Absolutely. Why would I not be a believer in Caspa? And that's the one thing I learned through being in here multiple cycles is you can't just let price action determine your kind of thesis and thoughts on how well a project is doing, okay? If you only focus on price action and look at the ICP chart, and let's look at it together, and you guys can visually see what I mean, okay? Let's go to ICP. Now, anyone that has been following ICP or watches our show, you know ICP's building. They've been building. They continue to build. And they're doing some pretty significant things in the space in terms of AI, in terms of interoperability, in terms of Bitcoin DeFi. They got the largest engineering team in the entire space. ICP does, Internet Computer, Dfinity. And so for me, look at this chart, and we can go to the weekly. And if you zoom this chart in to where you can see that all-time high, I mean, if you just solely look at this chart, you would say, yeah, this is a dead project. This project is dead. Wow, it got up to $2,800. This is according to Binance. And I know it was up. Let's see if we can pull the data from Coinbase. So this is ICP Coinbase. So this thing shows more of the, okay, so $680, right? So if you look at this chart alone and you built your thesis on price action, you would say ICP is a dead project, which rightfully so. If that was your only measure of success, is what traders and what investors thought of from a price action standpoint, or what people try to scalp here, scalp there, you would look at this and say, yeah, ICP is a dead project. But if you did the fundamental analysis and you look at what are they doing, who are they working with, what are they building, what's, what utility are they going to serve in the new world of finance that we're going to see in the next decade, 2 decades, you'd be like, ICP is extremely undervalued. And so for me, when I look at a project like, I know the question was about Caspa. When I look at a project like Caspa, for me, I don't solely focus on price action. I only, for my long-term thesis and what I plan on holding, I solely focus on fundamentals. What are they doing? What is the team doing? Are they active? In fact, I would argue that the most important thing to focus on when the price is down is what is the team doing? When the price goes down 80, 90%, what is the team doing? Do they throw their hands up? Do they quit? Do they sell their tokens? Now, in Caspa's term, obviously, it was a fair launch, right? No pre-mine, no allocation. And so, but a project, and then I think a good example is a project like Virtuals Protocol, right? They watched their market cap go from 600 million to 6 million. And they continue to build. And they made partnerships, they onboarded dApps, they onboarded people, and then their project ran from 6 million to 5 billion. And so, if anything, what you should be focusing on when you do see a big price depreciation in your portfolio, in your favorite altcoins, is to look at, okay, the price has been down, hasn't really been doing anything. What's the team doing? Are they still onboarding people? What does the on-chain metrics look like? The daily active addresses, the contracts that are being deployed. You can look at their GitHub repo, take a look at who's building there. And so that would be my main focus. And so when I look at something like Caspa and the price is down from 20 cents to 6 cents over a course of 3 months, what are they doing? Well, they're rolling out crescendo, 10 blocks per second. They're continuing to gain traction in users and dApps. It's just the ecosystem needs time to mature and grow. And so that's kind of where I'm at with Caspa, but I really haven't lost faith. There's no need to. The only thing that's changed is the price. And again, now that's my thesis. I don't know what you guys think. Well, what your guys is kind of, if you have a checklist of what you check on, what you're doing, what you focus on when price is down, or before you're ready to cut the cord on a project, what are some things that you are looking for? What's a deal breaker? I'm curious to know what your guys' is. Casper only has a fixed number of tokens like Bitcoin. Eugene said, watch out for Litecoin. Litecoin's another sneaky one. It's just got longevity, man. And when you talk about platforms that start crypto like Robinhood, PayPal, Venmo, we're introducing crypto. Litecoin is always one of the first ones that's included. And so Litecoin, to me, I still think it's going to make a new all-time high. But when you look at from the opportunity cost standpoint, where else could you make more of a return on your money versus parking in a Litecoin? Although you'll probably be taking on a little more risk when you're in like from a price action standpoint, from Litecoin versus, and as far as it going to zero or maybe completely failing, from that standpoint, you'll be taking more of a risk. But from an opportunity standpoint of maximizing your capital, your working capital, it's a risk you got to weigh. And so Semenimo said, if you had to choose at the current market prices between putting money on Link or ICP, which one would you choose? That's a hard question. Let's take a look. It's a good question, but it's a hard one. Okay. Chainlink right now is at $13.44. Now, I don't like to look at questions like that. You're asking me which one do I think is more undervalued, right? So it's not fair to just look at the price and say, oh, this one's $13, this one's $3, so the $3 one must be more undervalued. No. I look at market cap. I look at projected market cap based on their utility. And you look at Chainlink with a market cap of 8.8 billion. You look at ICP with a market cap of 2.6 billion. And so I like both, but if I had to choose which one is the most undervalued at the moment and which one's going to have a potential spark for a rally sooner than the other one, I'll go with Chainlink, because I think the next big rally is going to come from stablecoin and payments. And with the CCIP protocol and Chainlink's data streams and everything else Chainlink does, I think that's the play. But I have both. I have my portfolio percentage allocation wise is more allocated to Chainlink than ICP. But ICP, what they're doing, I think is going to take a little more time from the infrastructure side as far as getting people on board. But what they are able to do is, bar none, very few, if any, could do what Internet Computer is doing. Truly infinitely scalable. Once you kick up those canisters, and then that kind of plays into the token price because of how the tokenomics are set up. It becoming deflationary. As the usage goes up, ICP becomes, gets burned at a higher rate than is inflated, than it enters the market. And then you start seeing those violent price rallies. You saw that when Bob.Fun went live, when ICP rallied up to $20. Imagine that times 5 or that times 10. And so that's kind of my thesis on that, on ICP. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Chainlink, and that's not a shot, or that's not a stab at ICP at all. I like both of them. Tony Willits said, when do you think the next pullback will be? I think it's soon. I think it's sooner than later. I think we'll see small relief rallies, but you'll see those, at least in the stock market, those 3 to 4% drawdowns, which is big. When we talk about 3 to 4% drawdowns in crypto, it's like, oh, that's nothing, right? That's like pretty much saying the price has stayed flat. But when you talk about asset classes that are in the trillions, tens of trillions, like the S&P and the NASDAQ, 40 trillion, 50 trillion, that's a big move. And so I think that's going to continue. Think there's still a lot of people that are afraid. You have the whole tariff war still going on. I think that's kind of in the thick of it. You have the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. There's obviously talks about a potential ceasefire. I think that would be good. But markets and Wall Street, they do not like uncertainty. And right now, there is just too much uncertainty. And I know I've showed this chart multiple times on the show, on our trading show. But just this is not a good chart, okay? This is not a good chart at all. This is a very bad chart. To some people, if they only look at this chart, they would say, okay, we're heading into a recession, right? Below your 200-day moving average, below this 2-3 year trend line. So not good. Last time, and again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but last time we fell under our 200-day moving average and broke below a longer term trend line, right? Which was here essentially with a small deviation, and I'll zoom out. This was your COVID deviation. It was up only, this was not a deviation because we fell below, closed multiple candles below, attempted to retest and failed. And it looks like that is where we're headed to now. It's not just, okay, we made a quick trip down there. We made a quick trip down there and then we're reversing right away. No, we've closed multiple candles now below this trend line and now also below our 200-day moving average. And so I think that's going to take a little bit of time to play out. But again, as I've said multiple times, and I'll say it again, the bottom for Bitcoin is a lot closer than the bottom for the NASDAQ. And so when we talk about big pullbacks, I think it's coming very soon. Could I be wrong? Could we all of a sudden see Jerome Powell come out, FOMC, they start cutting rates, They provide liquidity to the banks. At the same time, banks enter crypto, stable coins, everything reverses, tariff wars start to cease. Though Ukraine, yeah, all that can happen in a very short period of time, and the outlook can change like that, like instantly. But we don't know that into the future. I don't have a crystal ball. And if you guys do, let me know, because I love to borrow it. But with what I see now and where I think this is going, I think we get that big pullback sooner than later. But again, I don't think Bitcoin goes under 70K. I really don't. I think 71.6 would be the line in the sand for me. If we go below that level, I'm open to discussing the bull market being over. But at the current time, I'm not. Don Monarch said, what do you think about ZBCN? No idea what that project is. I like to start mining. Is that still profitable? Litecoin, Casper, there's hella coins are mineable. You know, Mario, I'm not an expert in mining. I don't mine myself. There's a few people in the chat that mine. I believe Brokioshi mines. I know Redman does a little mining. But obviously, no point in trying to mine Bitcoin unless you got hundreds of millions of dollars and you want to compete with Riot. But you can do, like you mentioned, Litecoin. You can, I believe, you can mine. We know you can mine Casper, but there's a few other ones. Ravencoin you can mine. So there's also, I believe, like apps or dApps that you can just provide hash power, and it just mines multiple things, and you just pick what currency you want to get your rewards in. Doesn't mean that you're mining in that pool, if that kind of makes sense. So, but this is not an area that I'm an expert in mining, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am, but that would be my thought. That would be gas to the fire. Yeah, it would. How about Quant? I am torn on Quant. I think Quant lands in the Polkadot, Polygon camp, being this thing ran hot. Those projects ran really hot because it had one utility, one use case that everyone was excited about. Everyone could understand the importance of, and there was not a lot of competition. One cycle ahead, same utility, same pitch, but now there's more competition and people aren't as excited about it. I think the same thing's happening with Quant. I could be wrong. I mean, when you look at Quant, where is Quant? Is it even in the, I think it's still in the top 100, right? Let's take a look. 60, yeah, it's number 68, Quant. I used to have a big fat bag of Quant. Now this thing got all the way up to $400, $380. And so to me, I think I can find a better ROI elsewhere. That's kind of my position on Quant. Nothing against Gilbert Verdian. Nothing against the team. They got big connections to governments. The Queen of England, I believe I forget what the name was. Either way, they work with the Queen of England and their finance team or their government team, treasury team. Same thing we're here in the States. So they got a lot of big connections. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if the selling point is there anymore. And did they do enough during the last cycle to really, if you're going to keep the same like pitch, hey, invest in me because XYZ or just X, make sure that it's that much better and you've gathered enough and you've taken enough of the market share to where when new competitors come in, like Chainlink, you're so far ahead and there's going to be just too much to catch up. Like when you look at Riot, like the mining, right? Riot, Marathon, CleanSpark, you name it. They are so far ahead in their infrastructure, the amount of resources and money. Unless you're like one of a very small handful of companies that A, has the money, B, wants to spend the money to be a player in Bitcoin mining, they're just too far ahead. And so that's why people are pouring money into them on the stock market, trying to invest in their stock because of that reason. And I can argue the same thing for Chainlink. Sure, there's a bunch of data APIs. There's a bunch of oracles, right? Redstone just launched. You have Pyth. You had Charlie 3. You have a bunch of them. But Chainlink is so far ahead. They gobbled up so much market share that it's going to take too much time. And as long as Chainlink doesn't slow down, I just can't see anyone catching them unless someone comes in with connections and money and is able to just pry people away from Chainlink. At that point, we can have a different conversation. But at the current time, that's kind of my outlook. All right. Take a peek at the chat. Again, this is a kind of a relaxed Sunday stream. Don't have really anything planned. Just want to connect with the community, kind of get your thoughts. So as far as last week, from a price action standpoint, This has been a pretty busy week for me. So let me refresh my memory with a chart. Let's go BTC. Let's go to the 4-hour. And let's, you know what? Let's actually pull up this, not a clean chart. Let's go to the daily on this one. This is the BLX, right? The Bitcoin Liquidity Index. This is on the daily. And so, starting the week, we started the week at around $80,800. So we ended a week up. And even on the weekly, you can see the weekly candle that closes in about 3 hours. So this could, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think if price drops or falls, what kind of candle this will be. But at this point, we're going to close towards our high, which was around 85,000. So nothing significant about this candle here. But it was an up week for BTC. But I think next week, again, keep your eye on the stock market. But the volatility in Bitcoin is going to shrink more and more and more. And if we go to the Bitcoin USD chart and we go to I think I had it on the 4-hour I had it on? Yeah. We essentially have this ascending triangle on Bitcoin, and you're starting to see these ranges get tightened. We broke above it, right? But it failed because we broke above it. We started chopping around that 84K level, which we've had this thing plotted on for, I don't know, like a month and a half. And then in one 4-hour candle fell right back into this ascending triangle pattern. And then we attempted to get out of it again on a wick up to around 85K, but failed. And so this range is getting tighter. And we had bullish div on the daily for BTC. And so I do think we see a relief rally. Again, I've talked about this, a relief rally up to like 86 to 85K. Maybe we push 88, 89, and then we see another big dump down to the 70s. And then I think it's up only from there. But with this coming week, keep your eye on the Fed. I expect volatility on Wednesday. You know, we have Mark Yusko joining our show on Tuesday. And it's going to be a great conversation because I'm going to ask him about macro. I'm going to ask him about what he thinks the Fed's going to do. And by the way, you know, let's do this. If you guys are not familiar, Mark Yusko is the founder of Morgan Creek Capital. Super, super intelligible guy. He's been on our show multiple times. His insight is so good. You know, he broke down, you know, when I did the interview with him for the Almanac, he broke down exactly why Bitcoin's price was range bound for 9 months after the ETF. And he was right on the money. So if there's any questions you would want to ask Mark when he comes on the show Tuesday, throw them in the chat. Maybe I'll pick one or two and I'll ask him. But that's happening Tuesday. So we'll get an idea from Mark of what to expect, because obviously he's more plugged into the macro and the crypto space, like from a VC upper level standpoint than I am. And so he's going to have insights that I don't have. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. And then with Wednesday, I'll be streaming the FOMC meeting again, like we did last time. I'll probably be doing it from here. There's no point really, because we just throw that thing on. Jerome Powell speaks and we just listen and we react. We pull up a couple charts. It'll be good. We can watch that together and kind of react to it. Take a look at the markets. We'll spend some time afterwards to kind of look at the post-mortem on how the markets reacted. Is it good? Is it bad? So join us for that special on Wednesday, and then just regularly scheduled live shows moving forward. But Mark's joining us on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting. And then it's just going to be, I don't know. There's really no other big things coming. The big things that riles the markets up, obviously, we have the Trump factor, which we don't know what he's going to say. We don't know who he's going to go to trade war with. We don't know who he's going to slap tariffs on. That is the unknown, and that is what has the market scared. But we can try to project what the Fed's going to do. Are they going to cut soon? Are they not? As we get more numbers coming in, the next unemployment read, the next jobs numbers, the next inflation read, the FOMC minutes is going to be a big one. I'll probably do a video on that. When the FOMC minutes come out, I will do a video on that, kind of highlighting and trying to project what I think the Fed's going to do. So that's what to look forward in this week. But when you have times of kind of consolidation and choppy price action, that is when you want to make your financial decisions. Whether it's, do I cut my losses? Do I buy more? Do I open a position here? Do I close a position here? What's my take profit levels? Am I adjusting those up? Am I adjusting those down? These are the times to do it, not when things are diving and not when things are rallying. And so that would be my one piece of advice for you guys, as I have done over the last couple of weeks. Virtuals, that plan has changed. There was another one that plan has changed as well. I think it was, I forget. Either way, Pullman 10 on Super Chat said, what Mark's thoughts on XRP and we wrench Rusty? Does Rusty want a wrench? Rusty, you want a wrench, brother? Doesn't Rusty have a wrench already? I thought Rusty had a wrench. Rusty, you got a wrench? Where are you, Rusty? He does not have a wrench. Rusty, if you want a wrench, my friend, I'll give you a wrench, brother. Just say the word. And then Pullman, thoughts on XRP? Anything specific? Let me know. Yeah. Istophobic. What the hell? Caspa have 10 blocks per second for 1 block after the hard fork in April. Yeah. And so the thing with Caspa too is you guys just got to give us some time, right? They just got smart contracts. Like, I'm not smart contracts. They just got the token, the KRC standard. Give them some time, man. Just give them some time. Let them build out. Let people play around in that sandbox. Let dApps, let projects realize that, wow, I'm just adding Rusty as a moderator. All right, Rusty, you're a moderator, my friend. Congratulations. Let developers come into the ecosystem. Talk to the developers. Talk to people like Shai, people like Jonathan. Let them see how beneficial it would be to launch their project on Caspa. That just takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight. So you guys got to give the team some time, man. They're building something very, very unique over there. And so if you give them some time, if you're patient, you'll be rewarded. But people just can't have patience anymore. I don't get it, man. You have an opportunity in front of you. It could literally change your life. And people become impatient. So, all right. I want to talk a little bit about this. This was interesting. A lot of talks about market manipulation, and let me do this. A lot of talks around market manipulation, and this was posted by Finish. So you guys remember that hyperliquid whale that had that massive position in on BTC? You guys remember that short position and it went down? And we all talked about this person definitely is on the inside. Is it Barron Trump? Is it someone from his team? I don't know. But either way, looks like there was another massive $462 million short position on Bitcoin and ETH at a 40x leverage. Guys, think about that. A 40x leverage on on $12 million, a 40x leverage. I am sorry, but unless this guy is his dad's like the crown prince of, I don't know, Qatar. He's sitting on a $20 billion trust fund, and he's an absolute degenerate that had a long night at the nightclub snorting coke and hanging out with hookers. And he just says, you know what, 12 million, do 40x cross leverage. It's someone who knows something. They just, especially cross. You don't put that kind of money down with that amount of leverage. He must have had unless it was like that kid that had a long weekend in Vegas and woke up and all his cash was gone from his wallet anyways, I don't want to get to it. So it's just interesting. A lot of people are saying this is market maker manipulation or exchange manipulation. I don't know about that, but every market gets manipulated, man. Stock market gets manipulated. The commodities markets get manipulated. Hey, we have this much gold, and oh no, sorry, there are rocks that are painted in gold. And the crypto markets definitely get manipulated. So it's just a name of the game. That's why a lot of people, especially when you're in the market, if you're in crypto and you're like, look, I believe in the technology. I just want to have some skin in the game because I believe blockchain is going to be a part of finance moving forward. Don't trade, don't leverage, buy spot bags and just sit on them. Buy projects you believe are gonna serve a useful purpose in that new financial future that you've identified. Buy those projects, stick them in a ledger, stick them in a Tangent wallet or a Trezor wallet or a Ledger wallet, and just sit on it. Be patient. 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. Reevaluate maybe once every 3 months, once every 6 months. Watch Sin City Crypto. And you'll do just fine. You'll do just fine. Just stay within like the top 150, the top 200. And just set it and forget it, man. Go about your day, make money, take vacations with your family, and you won't have anything to worry about. But if you're actively trying to make money like we are here in the markets with trading, with longing, with shorting, spot, leverage, whatever you want to call it. This is just the name of the game, which is why you have to have proper risk management. If you don't have proper risk management, you are going to get caught in between these whale wars. And yeah, it's the folks that I don't think Qatar has a so I came to Vegas. That's why I threw the Vegas line in there, you know? Come on, man. Daniel Goodman said, good thing I have some long-term plays that I'm still up on. Yeah. There, you know, I'm curious, what percentage of your portfolio is currently in the green? What are you still up on? For me, believe it or not, I'm still up on AXBT. That thing, man, 90 cents. I timed the top perfectly, not because I knew the top was coming in, like I sit here and pretend like I knew the top was in and I'm some kind of wizard. No. I had a price target at 90 cents. I'm like, $1 makes too much sense. And everyone's going to be thinking $1. So smart money is going to be thinking less than $1 at around 95 cents. I'm going to think less than smart money. I'm going to go 90 cents. And that was like the Pico top. So I took some profits there. I sold some there. But the bag I have left, which is a substantial amount, it's a free rolling bag. And even if it was money I invested in at the price that I'd originally bought, which was 3 cents, I'm still in the green. That is in the green. My Bitcoin is still in the green. My Solana that I have left is still in the green. BitTensor is not in the green. It's actually in the red. Let me take a look here. Tell you what else is in the green. Virtuals, actually, part of it is still in the green. Chainlink, still in the green. Avalanche, still in the green. Near Protocol. Let me see my cost basis on Near. Near Protocol, no longer in the green. Barely. My cost basis was $2.58 on Near. Bought a big chunk under $1, and then I think I was buying some at like $4 or $5. So it's sitting at $2.52. ICP, not in the green. Ondo, not in the green. Athena, not in the green. Sui in the green. And so there's a few of them that are still in the green. I'm curious, your guys, what is your biggest I'm still in the green position in your portfolio? Greg Nowak said, I'm in Ondo from 22 cents. Solid, dude. That is absolutely solid. Ondo at 22 cents. That's a freaking steal, bro. That's an absolute steal. All right. What can I do with $60,000 cash? A lot of things. Green Pendle, worst all-time high. Green Pendle. 1 of 11. Okay. So are you saying, so Ben Simmons said 1 of 11 green Pendle. So I'm assuming you have 11 coins. The only green one is Pendle. So I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Ding Dong Daddy said from when? From your cost basis. And so if you bought at $2 and it's at $3, you're in the green. So yeah. Poman said XRP, ADA, HBAR, and Link. Yeah. XRP makes sense, right? 50 cents. You had so much time to buy XRP at 50 cents. ADA, 30 cents. HBAR is so good. And Chainlink, yeah. HBAR average 5.2 cents. That is so good, Eugene. That's badass. You can turn that 60K into 10K real quick. You sure can. Broke Yoshi and Lion. All right. I want to talk about this, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is pretty interesting. So let me put my headphones on for this one. By the way, I'm curious. Are you guys liking this Sunday vibe? This is the first one I've done. And so there's something new we're trying. Let me know what your guys' vibe on it. Do you like it so far? Is it, are you having a good time? Right? It's kind of free-flowing conversation. I want to know your guys' thoughts. This is, again, today's show is all about the community. So let me know, and then we'll watch this thing together right now.
And let me ask you this. You say starts. Kevin, let me ask you this. You say start small, but is it safe? A lot of people aren't sure. When I send my money, if I use my money and I put it in crypto, where does it go and is it safe?
That's a great question. And if you try and do this on your own in a decentralized wallet, as they're called, someone will hack you most likely because you don't know what you're doing. To make it safe, go to an accredited exchange like Coinbase, something that is regulated, but also that you can see every day on your phone that has millions of accounts, so it's got real structure.
Now, there was a lot of uproar on this, okay? So the account that reposted this was Predator, said Kevin O'Leary gives out the absolute worst Bitcoin advice on TV. Jenna X, who's a friend of the channel, said, no bueno, the first part of the interview was fine. This was not the entire interview, just for context. And so what are your guys' thoughts on this? Okay, I'll put it to you this way. I kind of agree and I kind of don't agree with Kevin O'Leary there. I agree to the point where, look, 90% of people who maybe they're your friends, maybe it's your uncle, your mom, your cousin, your sister, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. If you think of it from it that way, I am sorry, but if I told my mom that, Mom, buy these coins that are not on an exchange, and I told her do this, and this, I would be sweating bullets at night, fearing that she did something wrong or clicked on a link and got hacked. That's me. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but so for those people, I tell people, I told my father-in-law, okay, he was asking me about Bitcoin, and I was like, look, like, why do you want to invest in Bitcoin? He's like, I think it's going to go up in value. I was like, okay, so you just care about the price going up? I was like, nothing else. Like, he's like, no, I just want money for my portfolio. Cool. Buy the ETF. Buy the ETF. If all you care about is the price going up and making money in your portfolio, buy the ETF. It's easier on taxes. You don't got to worry about custodying it. You get the same price action, upside, downside, doesn't matter. Buy the ETF, put it in your 401k, call it a day. Something you're used to, something you're comfortable with. You don't have to overthink it. Great, do it. Now, if he would have sat there and told me, it's like, look, I see this thing as digital gold. I don't trust the government. I think they're printing dollars and the governments are going to start going bankrupt. There's going to be a run on gold. I'll be like, okay, come to my house or I'll come to your house. We'll meet up. I'll show you how to custody your own Bitcoin. I'll show you how to buy it and custody it yourself. And so, but for a majority of people, it's not that. They just care about number go up. And if they care about number go up, keep it as simple as possible. So at the end of the day, there's still people buying Bitcoin, which is a good thing, right? People making money is a good thing. They make more money. They get to come to your business or your boss's business, spend money there. You get raises. You make more money. You're able to take your family on vacations. So it's a win-win across the board if all they care about is the price going up. If they truly care about hedging against monetary or currency deflation, hedging against governments, hedging against the economy, they see it as digital gold. Take the time, sit down with them, have them buy a Tangent wallet. There's a link in our description. Have them buy a Tangent wallet and show them how to custody it themselves. And let them know the benefits of buying Bitcoin and putting it in a hardware wallet. You got to up and leave, and you got $1 million in Bitcoin. All you need is your little Tangent card, dude, and your phone. That's it. You lose your phone, all good, baby. You got your card. You lose your card, all good. You got 2 more. You lose the other one, order another one. So it's fairly easy. But for the newcomers who don't give a crap about that stuff, tell them to buy an ETF, bro. Tell them to go open up an account at Kraken or Coinbase and just buy it there. I'd rather go with the ETF than Kraken or Coinbase. A little more regulated. Crypto exchanges, and there's nothing against Kraken or Coinbase. I think they're fine. But there's been a lot of really bad things happen at crypto exchanges. And so they might feel more comfortable having it with Fidelity, with BlackRock, a company they've been working with, or in the very near future, which I think we're going that way, obviously, is the banks. Hey, Bank of America, you can just have them hold your Bitcoin. Cool. If all you care about is money go up, do that. You'll make money. You'll accomplish what you want. No unnecessary risk. No chance of getting hacked. No chance of losing your seed phrase. No chance of anything. Just you have it in there. You accomplish what you want to accomplish, and that's it. So to that degree, I agree with Kevin O'Leary because so many things can go wrong. Even someone like me who's a seasoned vet in crypto, I still get very nervous when I send money somewhere. I double, triple check wallet addresses. When there's links, I always because, obviously as a business, we get tons of emails, potential sponsors. A lot of them put links in there. And so I am always just very, very paranoid about clicking links, double checking addresses, emails, all of it. And so for the average person, that's not practical. So yeah, but I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? You guys agree with Kevin O'Leary on that one? I think he's got a decent point. And then this was another interesting topic of conversation. This is from Bitcoin. So Cointelegraph posted this. Bitcoin industry executive Jameson Lopp says using quantum computers to recover lost Bitcoin would be bad for network integrity. Instead, these lost coins should be burned. What do you think? It's an interesting debate. And I'll keep it 100 with you guys. If I had Bitcoin lost and I had the opportunity to use new technology to recover my Bitcoin, you bet your ass I am not burning it. I'm keeping it, and I'm keeping it. Majority of people, they might sell it. As I see, if you lost your BTC like that dude in the landfill and it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, for the integrity of the network, I'm going to burn the tokens. Hell no. And you're crazy to think so, man. You're absolutely nuts. And so do I think it would be a harm to the network? I don't. I don't see how that would be a harm to the network integrity. That's kind of what he mentioned in the post there. I'm not along. I mean, we can sit here and we can have these like crazy theories and thoughts about how things should be and everyone should do this, but it's just not practical. It's not practical. And so I don't know. I don't agree with what James or what the people are saying as far as network integrity. And I'm sorry, but it's crazy to think that if you all of a sudden found $100 million in Bitcoin, that you would just, for the good of the network, just burn the tokens. It's not practical. It's not going to happen. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's that person's money. They bought it with their money. They lost their seed phrase, however they lost it. And so if they can get it back, man, cool. There's no need to what's the point? Burn $100 million. What good is that going to do for anyone? Is that going to move the price? No. Is that going to make your Bitcoin more valuable? No. Will it change someone's life? Absolutely. Unless you're Warren Buffett, $100 million or even $1 million would change 95% of people's lives. And so, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Go live during weekly close. Maybe I will. Istophobic. Maybe I will. Mohammed, right on cue. Ondo to zero. Interesting. Mario said, dope show. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate you, brother. And I think why is this thing frozen? YouTube froze on me. I'm trying to check the chat. There we go. Also, guys, if you're new here, this is just a kind of a chill Sunday stream. We do a news-based show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And so we do that every Monday through Friday. And then we do a trading show, which, by the way, guys, moving forward, the trading show, I am moving that up the time slot. It's not going to be at 4:45 Pacific. It'll be a lot earlier. It'll probably actually be closer to 4:45 Eastern. So I'm moving it back around 3.5 hours. And so make sure you're subscribed and have your notification bell on. And then join our Discord. We post a lot of updates in there, and follow us on X as well. So that's going to change. And that happens Monday through Saturday. So 6 trading shows where we focus just on TA and fundamental analysis. And then the Sunday streams will be kind of this vibe, this style, just free-flowing conversation, talking to you guys, answering questions. Just having some fun, connecting with the community, because you guys know how much we love you guys. All right, guys, that'll do it for today. My son actually. So all my kids are athletes. My oldest is the best soccer player in the house. My 10-year-old, my middle one, or 11-year-old, my middle one, he's the smartest kid in the house, but he also plays soccer. He plays goalie, but he has some issues with his athleticism. And so my wife put him in flag football. So his first practice is today. I'm going to take him to that. And then my daughter is a machine of a gymnast. What that little girl can do is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go spend some time with family. Maybe I will come back for the weekly close, which is going to be in around 2.5 hours. I might do it. I might not. I'm not going to commit to anything. But just in case I do, make sure you subscribe and have your notification bell on. Anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for your support. And come back tomorrow for the morning show. It's going to be a good one. Until then,